Max. Connor.
Hi.
The maxed out MacBook Pros now, 16-inch M4 Max has 48 gigs.
I need that. I need the RAM.
I
don't. I only use Google Chrome and video.
$4,000.
I am maxing out on my. It's getting real slow. It's brutal.
Oh god.
Do Macs get hot? Because my Lenovo it is a tanning booth, an ironing board, and anything else that emits a ridiculous amount of heat. My shit burns anything that it touches.
That's nuts. Hey Dax, saw the show notes, maybe saw a LinkedIn post, I'm unsure, but it sounds like you're a fan of the new colorway of the HubSpot UI.
Max, that means you cannot read because that's not the purple that I asked for.
It's not. I thought you said you were into it.
No, I said when I asked for purple, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want mulberry.
You didn't want mulberry? It is more of a maroon. I don't think it's a purple.
Insert that meme of the woman in the news show that was like smashing grapes and feet and like falls over and it's like, like that. That's
wild. I still have not switched over. I can't handle it. It's like,
no, it's not usable.
Me, here's the deal. I can understand a different color, but the contrast with the still orange logo on the top left sends me into orbit. Like, it's almost hard to look at. It like strains my eyes.
Well, purple and orange don't go together, like Phoenix Suns colors or something. Like they don't go together. No. Just my thing.
They absolutely don't. Hey, listen, guys, I want to talk to you about one thing and one thing only today. And it's app events. If I'm being completely honest, it's app events. I know we're mad about lists being called segments. I know we're starting to make
we're not. No. Wait, we do have to be angry about this for a second. We are not angry about lists being called segments. What we are angry about is lists being called segments in some places and being called lists in other places, and lists in the API being 4 different things. That is what we're upset about.
Wait,
that's what grinds our gears.
What's going on with the API? I'm unsure of what the kerfuffle is there.
So when you use the API, there are like multiple list IDs, like completely different IDs for different list endpoints. Depending on what you're trying to, like, they don't do, it's the disaster.
Oh my God.
It's not an ID. It's guess, kind of. It's almost like,
I'm saying there's 3 list APIs. They do different things.
Right. I get that.
You're not talking about versions. You're just talking about like different functions of the API.
It's kind of like it's almost as kind of silly as the associations API. Like,
yes.
Why does the association
the associations API?
Nothing. It's like, why do I need an ID for the link of these 2 things? Like, you should just let me link the 2 things, and then they just link and see what's associated to it as an array of objects.
Oh, whoa!
It would be great if there was an array of objects like Stripe, but
they're
list and segments is off.
They're sunsetting the legacy classic CRM cards built with the extensions API. I just saw this. Starting June 16th, 2025, classic CRM cards will enter depreciation ahead of their full sunset on the 31st. Oh, in 2026. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, everybody, it's developer platform.
I mean, it makes sense because everyone's on the new stuff finally. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like what our old stuff was built on, right? I mean, we don't have anything still running on that, right? No, I'd imagine we can't.
There's one lovely sassy app that has stuff on that.
What?
One sassy app that is hanging out on all the OG, which is going to be a forced deprecation.
Yeah, well, we literally have more than a year to figure that out, so it's not a fire, but It's interesting. Those are finally going away. All
Very
right.
interesting.
And while we're just angry at APIs for a second, I'm still really just hung up on the fact that we got the ability to create calculated properties via an AI prompt before we ever got an API to build them. Just saying. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, I'm not gonna on about
roll-ups. If I can create roll-ups and calculated properties.
Yeah.
Wait, why can't I do that? I don't like. Why can't I do that via the API? I don't get it.
You can do simple ones, like you can do this plus 1 plus 1.
Yeah, but you can't like reference other stuff.
You can't do like roll-ups. Like you can do a calculated property that's 1 plus 1 equals 2 for sure.
Which is like so annoying because it exists in the background. It's just unlisted. You know what I mean? It's just listed. Like, why can't we use it? I don't know. Anyway. All right. I want to talk about app events because app events are slowly becoming my new Roman Empire as I learn more and more about them. Yeah. Well, dude, it's just the you know, I think for a while we kind of like went back and forth on like, oh, should we like inject our own custom events or should we use timeline events? And like timeline events, they were kind of cool because it's like, oh, you can get the app logo to show up in the timeline. Great. But it was basically just giving like text and that was it. It wasn't really like sending anything like behind it, kind of like custom events have like properties and stuff. Right. But I think this is going to be huge for us because it solves for like a couple of like awkward sort of like data conundrums. Right. For example, I think we've classically struggled for a while with like how to represent like session registration events, right? Like event registrations are easy because we have all the stuff on the registrant record we can put on there. But since like sessions have these like one-to-many sort of like potential associations to a registrant object, it gets like super goofy when you're like trying to be like, how do I trigger like a session email or a session registration email if there's like multiple sessions, this, that, or the other thing. And I think app events are actually going to be a really good thing for that, just because it's an event that we can send. And instead of just including like text, we can send properties in the back end, just like custom events do. Right. But they could all be like triggered basically from our app, and it supports custom objects, which is great. Right. So like, we'll be able to like, you know,
that's the thing it's supposed to do.
Exactly. And this is also really great for the lead stuff, for example. Right. Because again, leads, we kind of always had this like sort of fundamental issue of just like, where does the information of that instance of someone getting captured as a lead like live forever? Right. And like we've seen people do this in like a number of different ways where like the lead object gets created and like, sure, we created association to like the event record and everything. But like, you know, for example, the notes that are captured, where does that live forever? Because if someone gets captured as a lead somewhere else, if it's just sitting on the contact record, that can get overwritten. And so when we first did our lead stuff, quick reminder for everyone, we were the first one to integrate with that new
Leads
HubSpot lead object.
Big mistake.
What do you mean? The HubSpot lead object?
They're completely abandoned. They were like, leads would be cool. And then everyone was like, we hate that. And they're like, no, they're kind of cool. And then everyone's like, we hate it. They're like, all right, we'll just bail.
The thing is that they are cool and they are needed, but people still just have all this trauma from Salesforce that makes them think it's the same thing when it's not, right? Like the lead object always needed to exist. I'm just not sure if they rolled it out in the best possible way, right?
It's kind of what Connor just said. So that when you just roll something out, man, like I was sharing my screen, I was wondering, like, didn't they roll out marketing? Was it marketing events or event management in the navigation? And now it's not. Or now it is. But when you go to events, it goes to a marketing event.
Yeah, like
did they roll that back? Does anybody have marketing events?
Well, no, they changed
it. No, event management.
Okay, so if I look over at data, this is now
okay. So there's event management.
This made me beyond angry. So now under data management, you have event management. And then under marketing, you have events. It's like, dude, this is why I made that video of just like the word event in HubSpot sucks. It's so brutal.
It's confusing.
Yeah, it's tough. But again, kind of going back to my point, like when we rolled out like our lead capture stuff, sort of it's like V1 back like if that's a year ago, I want to throw up. That was like a while ago. Back like a year ago, we kind of solved that problem by like giving people the option to kind of like memorialize the notes taken and like that event like off of contact properties into like a little object where it can live forever, which is lead object. The problem is no one's using it, right? Like no one's using it. And so it's just like we get into this awkward position. It's like, well, where is that supposed to live? Because I don't think we're not going to build another custom object called event lead. Like that's stupid, right? But
it's the education. You got to teach people now how to use the lead object because people that happily use the lead object.
Yeah, but if they don't, what they end up doing is like they take that data and they just like write it off to like a task or something, and like that works fine, right? Because it's essentially the same thing. You just got to give it like a little place where it could be its own instance of a thing where it lives forever, right?
But it's not an object though. That's the problem. Yeah. It's not like it's not an object.
And I mean, what's even an object? Everything's an object in a relational database, right? That's still like that's still the cringiest content to me that I see on LinkedIn is when people go, oh, did you know that this thing is an object? Or actually, there's all these objects, and it's like everything's an object, bro. It's database. Like, chill out. It's not that profound.
It's all just tables.
It's all just tables, dude. It's just tables. We're at IKEA. HubSpot's basically just IKEA. Okay. So
all right. Anyway, back.
Anyway. So yeah. I'm really excited about the app events for a couple reasons, right? One, it's available to anyone. Anyone can use it. It's not like it's like locked to enterprise like custom events are, right? So custom events, that's an enterprise only feature. So like when we have our big conversations around like, doing whatever we can to make event happily available to the masses, right? Like we've been talking about app objects for a while and go through that whole thing, right? App events are great because it's not locked into like what hub you have, which is excellent, right? The other thing that I learned today is that app objects are going to be visible in the report builder, right? So Connor, all of those like, dashboards and stuff that I was building that I was complaining about to you the other day. Huh?
Embed them.
No, that's correct. No, you're correct. On individual records, yes, we do want to absolutely embed those as UI extensions, 100%, because I am almost 1,000% sure that the single object report builder probably is not going to support app events, but the custom object report builder does, which is great. And that's what you want to use anyway for dashboards, because you can only use single object events on records, just given the structure and kind of the way they work, right? So 100%, we should do like UI extensions that show on the event record itself, like event level reporting for all that other kind of stuff, which is great. But on dashboards, we'll be able to do those sort of like global leaderboards, right? And capturing of leads and things like that, and actually report on it as if it's its own object.
And you'll have fantastic.
A feed.
The actual thing that's awesome. Like if you go to an event record, you'll be able to you could be a person, a human being, a marketing manager, one might say, at home or at your office. Well, all of your sales reps are on site, and you could be looking at your event record, and you'd just be like, ding, 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 ding.
Yep. Now, okay. Cool. So I want to do some building in public here if we can, right? I think that would be.
Did we not just?
We're doing it, but like, dude, what do we want these app events to actually look like? Where do we want them to go? What information?
We want them to be pretty.
Over, right? I got two for you right here. Okay. So the way that I'm kind of thinking about this is like, all right, we've got like when a badge actually gets scanned, for example, right? Or someone captures a lead through our mobile lead capture app, or Milk, as we've been calling it internally. Can I say Milk externally, Connor? Am I allowed to do that?
Sure. This is the first time I have heard
MLC.
It's not
mobile lead capture.
It's mobile lead capture.
It's Milk. So there's two here that I'm kind of contemplating.
Milk stops right now. That's so silly.
No, Milk lives on forever. So when a badge is scanned or a lead is captured, because not only do we have the badge scan in the lead app, right? For anyone who's like watching this, doesn't know what we're talking about. At Inbound, we launched sort of like a beta version of our mobile lead capture app because people think filling out HubSpot forms is awkward and they want to be able to scan badges, right? And be able to capture leads.
Because it's better. It has
better.
nothing to do with filling out forms sucks. That's not relevant.
Oh, objectively, that's an awkward thing to do when you're talking to someone.
Yeah, but that's not why.
It's a big reason why people complain.
All
They're
right.
like,
Well,
we don't want to use a form.
We didn't build this because people complained about filling out forms. We built it because we are fundamentally changing the game.
We're changing the game, absolutely. But so what I'm thinking is when someone scans that badge, right, there's two objects that we send events into, right? One on the happily event object. So Connor, what you were just saying, right? Go into the event record. You're seeing a feed basically of all of the action that's happening at that event, which primarily what you care about there is lead capture, right? So when you send in these event objects, they have this thing called a header template, which is basically this sort of sentence you can write at the top that includes like variables and stuff from information that's passed in from the event, right? So you can give some like really good context into like what actually happened, right? So instead of just like a generic lead captured and that's it, we can do stuff where it's like username captured lead name at event name, right? And so like when we think about which objects they're actually going on, we want to think about how that is actually like written in the context of like whichever object it sits on, right? And the reason, like a good example of this is like on the happily event object, we'd say the person actually capturing the lead captured name of the person as a lead at event name. And then we can pass in all of these like different properties and stuff down below, which will be really good from like a reporting standpoint, because like this is where we could say like, you know, build a leaderboard or like a dashboard that says, you know, most lead scans this month by rep broken down by event name, right? And like, so you can see like, oh, in this quarter, right, Connor got 150 leads and it's split out in his bar chart by which event they were actually at.
Event they went to.
Yeah.
Professor Maximus.
Right? So like this is going to be super cool, right? Now, on top of this, they're able to be used and trigger workflows. Okay. And those properties,
the way you do it now is so finagly.
Well, hold on. Those properties and those actions can also be used as well. One, you could like take those and stuff them into contact properties, right? Through like a workflow if you wanted to, which is good for like email stuff. So Dax, where I'm kind of like starting to get at here is like, this is going to help us solve for like session registration, awkwardness very well. Correct. Right. Anyway, let's stick to these. So far what I've got is you scan the badge on the event record, you go boop, and it shows it. Right. I think something that like might be interesting if we can do it. I don't know the feasibility behind. Well, I guess if we control when we send in the event, we can do whatever we want. Right. But I was thinking like all the basics, like when, the time, the ID and the name of the event, first, last name, any of the stuff we capture like in the lead capture like form itself when we scan the badge, the notes that get passed through. And then Connor, what do you think about this? Would we want to like send in like an outcome that was chosen? Right. No, I know we're talking about
the outcome.
Huh?
I mean, we could, but we would just do the outcome.
Like, do you think that's valuable to say like they created a task?
Just putting everything onto the app event is fine.
Cool.
It's cool.
Sweet. Yeah. I just don't know if like people want to like report on that. Dax, you might know better than I in terms of like working with people. Like, do they care about knowing what the follow-up was at that moment or no?
No, this is all magic regardless. So
yeah,
all of this
if we can pass it through, we should. Yeah. And then like we could easily drop in like an image of the badge. Like, so if we like save that to the file manager, for example, we can easily just put a URL there so you can just see the badge right from there. That's fine. Now, what I was thinking, like that's how it looks on the event object, right? I think we should also write it to the contact object too as well, right? But on there, we basically pass through, obviously, it's all the same properties and everything. The only difference is the header template's going to be different, right? So like just switching up the contacts here where we could say contact name was captured by user as a lead at event name, right? So like literally just kind of like swapping the sentence around a little bit. But when you look at it on the contact record, right? The sentence makes a little bit more sense because it's in context to just that person that you're looking at, right? In terms of like event lead stuff, Connor, does your mind go anywhere else around like other stuff you'd want to like see as app events?
Not for event. Like, I think registrations should be app events.
That 100%, right? So that's where we can get like really crazy, right? So it's like registration created, registration canceled, right? Because that might trigger some emails you want to send to people, and you could do it in a more universal way with less workflows if we have an app object for it, right? And then Dax, the session registration stuff is the interesting thing, right? Now, here's my
that gets blown out.
Here's the brain buster, right? Is how would we treat like multiple session registrations, right? So like you register for one session or you register for a bunch at once because we have the ability to do that, right? Like, would we just want to like send over
right?
a comma separated? Yeah.
100%. You signed up for this, and this, and that's in the app object in that particular variable. Then you can pass that to the email. Like, congrats, you just signed up for this, and this.
Yeah. Now,
And
so
here's it's hard to break that up and format it, but that's because it is an array. You're not going to be able to format it really crazy.
It's and that's where my brain starts getting twisted up a little bit, right? Because I would imagine the way you'd format an email if someone registered for a session would be one way, and it might be a little bit different if they registered for multiple sessions at a single swoop, right? Now, I know we can see when multi-session registration happens because like we've got our little JSON doohickey in the background, or whatever it is, the trigger in the background or whatever.
The
right?
JSON doohickey is the technical.
Doohickey is,
the JSON doohickey. Right. So like what I'm wondering is there a need for us to maybe actually have that be separated as a separate app event object or app event, like a single session registration and a multiple session registration might be different because we might pass that data over differently. But on top of that, you might want to be able to trigger the use of like a different email template or like a different something or other that like shows that data a little bit differently if it is multiple sessions, right? I don't know. Like I'm trying to work through that in my brain right now. I'm like how we kind of like differentiate it. You know what I'm saying?
That will be written on you're right, because if you're going to write a timeline or an app event, on it's going to be on all the different session objects. So you can't really do a session-based email because they'll get like 20 emails because they send up to 20 sessions.
Yeah, and we want to avoid that. So it has
to be an event. It has to be on the event. So it's now which kind of simplifies where your emails are sent from. They're all going to be sent from the event object. But if it's a session registered, the session registration happened with XYZ, then you would be able to then segment that based upon that rule. Branch workflow, like was it event registration or session registration? And
you know what I just thought of though? We don't even have to have it be separate app events because we can just have it be a property. Single session, multi-session, right? And then based on that, if you're triggering emails off the creation of the app event, right, then you literally can just filter off that property difference.
And that's how people kind of do it right now. That's a property of the event. Is it single or multi, or is multi is yes? People do that because they do different templates anyway.
Yeah, but like literally we could just have it be like session name when it passes through as a multi, it just comma separates it, and the email could literally just say, thanks for registering. You've registered for, and then and it just writes out like whatever the value is of that app event, and we're good. Right.
Pretty cool.
That's sick. And so for people who have Dax, you know how you can do like the custom, what is it, like the custom tokens in email where instead of putting in a personalization token, you could put like a little thing in brackets and then like the workflow knows to pass in those values?
Correct.
Is that like a marketing hub
that's
enterprise
a marketing
only
enterprise
thing?
Yeah, that's a marketing enterprise. I forget what they call it, custom tokens, even though everything is it's personalization token or custom token. Dude, it's just a bunch of tokens.
Dude, custom is even my next least favorite word inside of HubSpot. But what's cool is for people who use that, it's easy to use those properties from the app event. For people who don't have that, it's just as easy to take that data, pass it into a contact property temporarily, and send the email. Right. So like no matter what level of, marketing hub email functionality you have, you'll be able to do it. You may just do it a little bit differently, right? Which is super sweet. So anyway, I'm super stoked on it. It's in defining.
He's
I'm
excited. He's ready to go.
Yeah, dude.
Broke it down. That's the app event object 101.
This is how the sausage is made, everybody.